Welcome back. We are doing Shaman now in the Scholomance card review, Scholomance Academy reviewing, previewing, valuing cards thing that we do. It's 2:30 a.m. now, and we're on Shaman.
We are on Shaman, all right? The class that just loves to do random things, and I'm sure you love it too if you enjoy the craziness. So let's talk about Shaman. We've been through a lot of the classes that have gotten extraordinarily crazy stuff, right? Paladins, mostly. Now, did Shamans get equally crazy stuff? The answer is no. The answer is no.
And more than that, did Shaman get RNG stuff? The answer is no.
It's crazy.
I don't know what Blizzard was designing Shaman for in this expansion, but they apparently decided to keep all the RNG in Rogue and Mage and Hunter and bunches of other class actually, but not as Shaman, which is the Hero Power RNG class. So you're actually going to get a good amount of stability in Shaman, which is interesting.
It is interesting. All right, we're going to go to the highest rated card, non-legendary in Shaman. And you see it's quite tame. We start off with a rare minion, and it is the Diligent Note Taker. The Diligent Note Taker is a 2-mana 2/3 spell burst. Return the spell to your hand. This is just pure upside. If you look at what a 2-mana 2/3 is in terms of a river proc, in Shaman, it's a 97. So you're getting a ton of points. You're getting 60 points for this ability. Because it whatever you cast, you're just gonna copy it. It's really freaking good. Not much has to be said about it.
Yeah,
right?
for 2 mana, later on in the game, you will always get your spell back, right? You can just throw it in whenever you cast a spell you want to get back. It's wonderful. But also, and this surprised me when we put it into the algorithm, you play it on turn 2. Like, we talked about this with the mana whatever 2-drop that is in this meta. What is it? What's that card called? Mana Saber? Am I thinking about this wrong? Mana Feeder. The Mana Feeder Pathra, which requires you to use the hero power, right? And that's a 117. That means Diligent Note Taker is getting like 40-something points on top of another card that just like draws you a card from your deck in the late game. And this one basically gives you your spell back. So one, your spell back is generally better than drawing another card in your deck because you get to control which spell you get back. But also, that one, you have to use the hero power on the same turn, which means you can't play it as a 2-drop and then still get your card back ever. Whereas Diligent Note Taker, you can actually just play as a 2-drop, and then in a decent percent of the times, you can trigger your spell burst afterwards. Because Shaman spells are generally low mana, and like the odds of this dying after being played on turn 2 is not like super high. So that was really interesting to me. Like, obviously, with both of these cards, you play them on turn 2 if you don't have a 2-drop. It is a very solid 2-drop. But this one has the spell burst that stays on the board and you can trigger later. And you actually do in Shaman quite frequently.
Yeah. That's basically it. Look, anytime you get a properly stated small drop that has an effect that's this big, potentially, drawing or copying a huge spell, it's just really good. And even if you just copy the coin, that's still really good. So that's it.
Gangalo Bear in chat says Diligent Note Taker into coin 4-drop. Yeah. That's
exactly.
pretty good.
So next we have Runic Carvings. Runic Carvings is a dual Shaman Druid card. 6 mana, choose one, summon 4/2/2 Treant Totems. Weird, just dual tribes as well, or Overload 2 to also summon them with Rush. You get a good amount of stats for what you're paying, and you have the option to pay a little bit more with Overload in order to give them Rush. Now, this does exactly what you want to do as Shaman. You want to flood the board. You want to provide bodies that you can then bloodless, that you can buff with, for example, Storm's Wrath. It's just really good in terms of playing into the style that you want. Like it plays into your win conditions.
Yep. It's insanely good. 141. Twin Tyrant is the
141.
score. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know people keep thinking of Twin Tyrant as like 150 card. In this new meta, because there's enough good cards that everything kind of got brought down a little, but also Twin Tyrant like literally got worse because the Dragon tag got worse.
Yeah.
So okay. Next up is Molten Blast. Rare card, 3 mana, deal 2 damage, summon that many 1/1 elementals. I don't know why they don't just say summon 2 1/1 elementals.
Because
Spell
damage.
damage.
No, 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 no. And
The algorithm isn't accounting for that. That's not worth that many points. This is not going to move more than 5 points. But
yeah, so it'll be a little bit higher.
I'm just waiting for ZD Man to say in chat, no, the algorithm is accounting for it. And me going like, oh, okay, well, good catch. But it may not be. Either way, it's not that big of a deal.
No, it's not that big of a deal. It won't move that much.
Yeah.
And yes, obviously they can totem and everything, but it won't. Even if it's not accounting for right now, it won't account.
It's just not worth that much more points in the arena.
Um,
Okay. Next is Groundskeeper. Groundskeeper is a 4 mana 4/5 taunt. That's really good. It's a druid / shaman card.
Yep. And then Battle Cry, if you're holding a spell that costs 5 or more, restore 5 health.
If you're holding,
yeah,
it's just an in-hand synergy. So you have a really good curve card that's a better Yeti. And then, like, passively, you just have to hold it in your hand if you happen to have it. You get to heal 5 health. And it's not just your hero. You can heal crap on the board, too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Once again, you have to be holding a spell. Like, it's not guaranteed. 133, that's really good. That's really freaking good. Yeah, that's where it's at.
Yeti and Shaman? What's Cho and Yeti? And 116 is Yeti.
Yeah.
So yeah, 133. All right. Next we have Devolving Missiles. We talked about this for Mage. Shaman has spell damage, so it could potentially devolve one step more if you invest in it or if you have it. But overall, it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay. So what is next?
Primordial Studies. Again, the shared mage card. 1 mana discovers spell damage minion. Your next one costs 1 less. Shaman gets the same deal. All fine. All normal. Nothing to see here. And then you get Totem Goliath. A 5 mana 4/5 totem. Death Rattle. Summon all 4 basic totems. Overload 2.
Bad.
It's a lot of mana. You're investing 7 mana into this.
Oh boy.
You're getting a lot of random stuff. The stuff is not good, but it is a lot of stuff. So that's why it's a 103. Like, it's 15 points below a Yeti. It's not good. Not 15. It's like 13 points below a Yeti. It's not good. But it's not, like, unplayably terrible, you know? Like, when I first saw this card, I thought it was unplayably terrible. I thought it was going to come in at, like, an 80. But it came in at a 103. Because your totems actually do stuff. And removing the RNG on the totems works really well.
Yeah. Look, they provide bodies, but you're just paying so freaking, like, you're just paying such a high cost for them. That's really the shame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is next?
Trick Totem is next.
Oh yeah. We talked about this a little bit. It's positive. But it's not high just because you don't love that RNG. 97.
A lot of RNG. Like, imagine if instead of saying like cast a random spell that costs 3 or less, you're like summon a minion that costs 3 or less. Like, obviously it won't do that because summoning a 1/1 that's already a totem, and that one's a pretty good totem. So this one is it's so much value, but it's also so random.
Yep. All right. What's next?
Next is Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave is kind of like, what's that Demon Hunter card? It's kind of like Cycle of Hatred. Demon Hunters use 7 mana, deal 3 damage to all minions, and summon a 3/3 spirit for everyone killed. In Shaman, you do the same. You spend 8 mana to deal 3 damage to all minions. 1 more mana. And what do you get out of it? You heal. It's lifesteal.
Yeah. Man. It's really expensive. That's a problem. It's like supremely expensive, and you can get decent use out of it, but it also means you're off the board. And if you're off the board, I don't know, is 3 damage enough? A lot of times no. It's just so expensive. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god. The life steal doesn't matter that much. So yeah.
Like, do you like Hellfire? Do you want to spend 4 mana to heal yourself to mostly full 2? Do you want to put them in the same card? Here you go.
That's the thing. By putting them in the same card, that's the problem,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
it's just not. It's just way too expensive. Like the idea is something that, even if it doesn't fit into the normal shaman game plan, it's fine. Like, yes, you want to be on the board. Will you still take a double-sided board clear? Yeah. Just like Adukta's favorite shaman card of all time, Elemental Destruction, right? You know that thing was 200. God. Uh, but it can't be this expensive for just 3 damage as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's one like it's rare that this set has bad cards, but Shaman has a couple of these. Lightning Bloom is 68. It's a 0 mana card that old innervates, gains 2 mana this turn only, but then it overloads too. Like, come
You better
on.
make it really worth it. You better really, really make it worth it.
Come
This
on, Blizzard.
this is the equivalent of taking one of those like super high interest loans out. You better really make it worth it for you to be taking out that super high interest loan, because you're paying a lot for it. You know what I mean? Uh, that's why it's a 68.
This is where Tauren Warrior lives, by the way. It's not good.
And yeah, like sometimes, like, will you be able to use that 2 mana immediately in such an advantageous way? Maybe. It's why it's not like a 0, right?
Yeah.
68. Like, we're giving you credit for being able to use that mana now. I'm imagining that commercial, except it's mana. It's my mana, and I want it now. Okay, it's too late. I'm hoping some of you guys got that stupid TV commercial reference. Let's move on to Rune
Alright.
Dagger.
We're finally gonna end on Rune Dagger. 2 mana, 1/3 weapon. That's not good. After your hero attacks, gain spell damage +1 this turn. So even if it was permanent, it wouldn't be good in the arena. Just this turn, no, just no. Like, how much damage are you getting out of it? You better be board clearing with all the spell damage. Why do you have to keep board clearing? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's 54 total trash tier. Don't touch it.
I thought it would have been a little bit better than 54.
No, like it's worse than a Light's Justice, and it costs 1 more mana.
Yeah, and I mean, yes.
Sorry. When I said it costs 1 more mana, I meant it costs double the mana.
Double the mana. I understand. I still think it could be a little bit better. Well, anyways, like it's not.
Don't
It's not
pick
good,
it.
right? It's not good.
Yeah,
So,
don't pick it. Alright.
It's
So Shaman's got some stuff to work with overall between Diligent Note Taker, Runic Carvings, Molten Blast. They have all this like spell damage synergy, which mages are a little iffy on the spell damage synergy. They've always been, even when it was a big feature, because in Arena you just can't put together enough stuff. But with Shaman, it's always been a little more consistent because you have the totems, and they have a decent amount of support here. I wouldn't be surprised if you can get spell damage to work somewhat decently in Shaman, but the payoff is still just not big. So you're doing a lot of fancy stuff for not a very big payoff. And you have some decent, like, good minion cards. But I feel like Shaman's just not going to keep up. This is... Where'd you make that comment for earlier, Merps?
what?
Like, the class that was not going to keep up, Priest. The Shaman's like Priest. It's just kind of not going to keep up with the power level of a lot of these other classes that are coming up.
Yeah, I think that's just sort of what's gonna happen. It's fine. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone really. I don't know. Probably some shaman fanatics are probably gonna be angry, but I don't know. Does anyone really want shaman to like be amazing? Does anyone really care about shaman that much? I don't think so. Probably not. Okay, let's talk about the legendaries. Uh, from the worst to the best. Now, even the worst is pretty freaking good. The worst Shaman legendary is Instructor Fireheart. This is a 3 mana 3/3. Battlecry, discover a spell that costs 1 or more. If you play it this turn, repeat this effect. So you get to discover again. It's coming at a 142. Once again, 3 mana 3/3s suck. They are terrible. On the tier list, they're like 80 points. They're trash. So this is not a this isn't a great turn 3 play. You're using this much later on, but holy shit, is it a huge card if you use it later on. So that's where its score is. It's a 142, and it can be a supremely big card if you just wait on it.
Yup.
Okay. Next we have Ra's Frost Whisper. We talked about this. It's a 171. It's really good. That's it.
Wait, where's the other legendary?
It's right above it.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh,
All
I've
right.
hit the wall. It's official.
Now, the best legendary, although it really is just tied, because the previous one was a 171, this one's a 172, so it's almost interchangeable. It's Speaker Gidra, 3 mana 1/4 Rush Wind Fury. Someone out there, Flying Machine is just crying.
I remember Flying Machine. Hey, Flying Machine can get magnetized, okay?
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, wait.
Which
Speaker
is so much better
Gildra.
than yeah, which is so much better. But yes, it has Rush, Wind Fury, and also Spell Burst. Gain attack and health equal to the spell's cost. So this thing can be freaking humongous. This thing can be humongous with Rush and Wind Fury. It's a 172. That's amazing. Even if you just don't do anything with it, is a Rush Wind Fury 1/4
It's pretty good.
useful? Yeah, it's useful. It's still useful. And if you just cast any spell, and once again, when I talked about at the very beginning, a lot of times you don't want to use spells because the effect isn't worth it. Dude, this effect is so worth it.
Okay.
This effect is so freaking worth it.
Earthquake doesn't work. There are no 7 mana spells in the meta for a shaman.
No, I mean you want to use this still with like decent.
Runic Carvings is the only 6 mana spell, and that's an epic.
Sure, I mean you don't exactly need to pair it with something that expensive.
Bloodlust probably isn't what you're looking for.
Bloodlust is.
There's no 5 mana spells either. There are no, because I'm trying to play it on the same turn, obviously, so you get the rush with the wood. 4
Yeah, yeah,
mana spells are all you have.
yeah. That's still pretty good. Do you not want to gain 4/4?
So the algorithm knows this, and I'm guessing it's trying to make you use a 4 mana spell. I was actually wondering why it wasn't even higher, because it's kind of an insane card, and now I know. it's because there's no this pool sucks.
Yes, the score is definitely not from the the earthquake synergy. uh, it's definitely not from the earthquake synergy.
Oh god. I mean, the earthquake synergy would make it a really high attack.
Sure, but I don't know if that's exactly the synergy that you're looking for right there. Yeah, it's good. It's high.
Alright, that's Shaman for you. Yeah. You got any shoutouts before we move on to our second to last class?
Shout out to everyone who's watching. Shout out to my bed that's gonna be waiting for me,
Oh,
but
bed.
not for a while. Okay, continue on. We journey towards druids.
So close, so close. Okay, see you guys at Druid.